guys, Joe here with Fence Pro Solutions, and in today's video I'm going to show you how you can get more reviews and how you can pretty much get them automatically. So the reason why it's important to get more reviews is because, it's the digital age. So most people use Amazon at this point, and if you've used Amazon, you search for the product you're looking for, you see which ones actually show up, and then from there you're usually picking the ones with the best reviews. And typically, even though a certain product is a little bit more expensive, as long as it has more reviews and better reviews than a cheaper price product, typically people are just going to go with that. And it's the same thing when they're picking a contractor for fencing or decks or whatever. So to kind of illustrate that point as well, I'm just going to type in fence company near me. And here's what you're going to see: a few things. So if you scroll down, this is typically, well, there's a few sections. So you have your ads. Your next section is called the map pack, which is basically the local, contractors. And then after this, you have the organic. Okay. So typically people are going right to this. And if you can see in here for, my company, one, you can set up Google Ads for these local searches, which are very important just because this is where most people are calling from. And you can see here, so when I type in fence company near me, you have me with 4.9 with 126 reviews. And then if you compare it to the other ones, Audubon only has 3.3 and 65 reviews, so that doesn't look that great. And then you got Burger with 3.4 with 47. So out of the three, typically they're calling us first, and a lot of times, as long as we give them a great experience from the start, then they're going to typically go with us. So I just wanted to show you that, and that's why this is extremely important. Okay, so, and before we go any further, if you like videos like this, please hit the subscribe button. And if you know of any contractors that could use some help as well, please send them the video as well, just so they can, do a little bit better and provide more for their family. All right, here we go. Hey guys, so here's a video on how to get more reviews that we use. So for the guys that use Job Nimbus, and if you don't, you might want to check it out. But basically what happens is after their job's completed and we get their final payment, they get moved over into request a Google review. When they get moved over here, they automatically get uploaded into GatherUp, which is the review program. The way they sync together, if you're not familiar, is from Zapier, which is basically a way for not all, but most of your programs to kind of interact with one another, just to make life, as automatic as possible. So anyway, what happens is when they first, when they get into this, they'll get an email, or you can set it up for text messages as well. But basically it says, hi, it'll insert the customer's name, my name is Joe, we basically want to hear from you. So then what will happen is after, they click your review, it's going to send them to one of two areas. So what you can do is you can set this up for if, as long as it's an 8, 9, or a 10, or a 9 or a 10, or just a 10 in general, then they'll go to like the positive review section. Now, if they put in something less, then it'll go to another function. So they get that, right? After, we'll assume that they did a good review. And if you see on here, so this is the initial request that was sent. And then if you don't hear anything back, then you can set up for an automatic email reminder. And then same thing. So we have one at 2 days, one at 7 days for them to do this. Now, so if it's a positive, actually either way, it's going to go to here. But then, it's going to ask for more questions. So, I'm trying to get each stage of the business so that way we can see where we're kind of falling off at. So at this point, how was the sales process? How was the on-site consultation? Then we have, what was your experience after you end up booking your job? And these are 3 different people that do each of these functions. Then you have the installers, so it's the 4th group of people. And then the final one is, what was your overall experience like with Deptford Fence? Now, if it's a good review, what it's going to do is, let's go into here. So positive. So if it's a good review after all this, it's going to say thanks for the rating, and it's going to ask them if they would mind copying the server to Google, and they make it easy. So what they do is whatever they hit in, or typed in for that, what was your overall experience, that'll all come up here, and then they just hit copy review, and then I'll put a link right to Google. So then they go right to Google and then paste it, and then they're done. So there's that. Now, same thing. So if they go through all this and they don't end up sending a review into Google, then it's automatically gonna remind them to do that. And then if not, you can set up for another one. If you want to do that. For the negative one, it basically says we're sorry. We appreciate the feedback, and then we're gonna follow up with them. Because they they didn't hit the certain threshold, then what will end up happening is it will not ask them to copy the review and send to Google. Okay. But yeah, that's about it. Again, so you have Java Nimbus. If you're not using that, definitely check them out. And then Gather Up is the other one. And I didn't mention it's $75. And then the final thing is Zapier. I forget what the cost is per month for this, but for us, it's just well worth it. So, all right, guys, have a good one.